Okay, so boom, it's another fabulous week in crime and hip hop, I suppose. So, jury selection has gotten started for the YSL case. We are on our second week of jury selection. Now, y'all know this trial is scheduled to last 6 months to a year. So, jury selection probably going to be going on for a little bit around here. And the jury that we get is going to be very interesting because how many people do you know are going to be able to take off work for 6 months to a year to hear this case? So it's going to be interesting. But aside from that, Gunna, our homie Gunna, he posted his first picture on Instagram this week or on social media this week, and the folks was not here for it. Folks was not here for it. Okay, it's looked like Young Thug's sister was like, knock it off, cut it off. I know she spoke to TMZ and she wasn't here for it. Sounds like Young Thug's brother was like, quit playing with us, we cool on you, bro. And then I believe it's an artist by the name of Keed, Little Keed. I believe he passed away sometime while Gunna was incarcerated for a little hot second, you feel me? And he shouted him out, and folks was like, stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. So it sounds like the streets is a little, they not quite sure how they fooling with Gunna as of right now. So that's to be determined at a later date, I suppose. But with that being said, Gunna's not the only person that took a plea deal, right? Now, Gunna's plea deal was probably the most creative of them all, but there were quite a few YSL members who took plea deals in this case, and part of their plea deals was that they would agree to testify against Young Thug if they are called to the stand. So it will be interesting to see how many of these people are actually called to testify and what they are going to say. Now, they won't be able to plead the fifth unless the questions that they are asked has something to do with a criminal activity that relates back to them. So we're going to see what happens with this, but it's going to be a real interesting case. Like I said, 6 months to a year, we could find out a lot of stuff that we ain't even ready for. And then next up, because you know our crime and hip hop series isn't over, Tory Lanez. So as you all know, Tory Lanez was convicted on December 23rd for shooting Meg Thee Stallion for having a unregistered firearm in the vehicle and some more stuff. There were three major charges, and he was set for sentencing on January 27th. So this sentencing has actually been pushed back. So Tory has actually hired new counsel, and the person that he hired is well known in the hip hop community, right? He represented Snoop Dogg back in '99 when Snoop Dogg had his case. He also represented Suge Knight in a civil case, I believe, which sorry. Let me do this one over. Oh God. Okay. Okay, so boom. In our next segment of crime and hip hop this week, because it's still going on, we got Tory Lanez. So, as you all know, Tory Lanez was convicted on December 23rd for the shooting of Meg Thee Stallion and for having an unregistered firearm in the vehicle and some more stuff. There were three felony charges. And he was scheduled for sentencing on January 27th, but his sentencing has actually been pushed back because he has hired new counsel. So the person who is now representing him is well known in the hip hop community. He represented Snoop Dogg back in 1999 when he had a murder case, and Snoop Dogg survived. He also represented Suge Knight in a civil case he had, and there was a hung jury in that case. So pretty well known. And this attorney right now is arguing a motion for a new trial. They're asking for a new trial for Tory. And so with that, that has pushed the sentencing date back to February, to the end of February. So we will see what happens with that. Like I said, there are multiple motions being filed right now. The attorney also asks that the gag order against Tory Lanez be lifted. So if you guys remember, the court told Tory that he is not allowed to talk about the case. He's not allowed to speak on Meg Thee Stallion, any of that. That was a violation. And the attorney is arguing that, no, you should actually lift that because everybody else has been able to make statements about this case. And so by not allowing my client to talk about it in whatever venue he feels to do so, you are violating his free speech rights. Now, the judge wasn't all the way here for it, but he said, you know what, we'll just keep it on the table and we'll see what happens when we get to the sentencing hearing. So This is going to be really interesting to see what happens with that, if Tory will get a new trial. This lawyer is very crafty. So, and like I said, he's very well known. And the prior attorney, you know, there's no love lost there, right? So people was like, you got fired for good reason. But he was like, no, post conviction ain't my thing. I do trials. Okay. I did my trial. This ain't for me. I'm handing it off to the pros. And so that's where we're at with it now. So we will see what happens with that. Will there be another trial, or will Tory just get his sentence? Okay. So boom, hold up. Did y'all see Tory mugshot? Now he looked like he was going to prom. That's how you don't want to look going into no LA County jail. Let's start there, okay? Especially a couple of days before Christmas, looking like a whole present. But anyways, I'm going to stop clowning him for now because he got a lot going on. His little legal woes is they off the chain. And last but not least, okay, so boom. Trump not going to jail, but everybody around him is. So his executive, his name was Alan Weisselberg, was just sentenced to 5 months in Rikers Island. That's right. He is sentenced to 5 months, and he got 5 years probation for all the little tax scheming they was doing in the Trump organization. So I would just be careful if I was you. If you kicking it with Trump or you did some business, just be careful because they taking y'all out. Okay, they just it's just like an episode of Walking Dead. You just don't know when you might get hit. Okay, you just gotta be careful. So yeah, he was sentenced to 5 months in Rikers Island. He did plead guilty to the charges, and you know, the judge told him, like, you know what, I don't think this is enough time, but since we already agreed to this, I'm gonna go ahead and let you slide on this. But I'm telling you right now, you're foul and you should do more time. I'm gonna be honest with you. Any day in Rikers Island, it's gonna feel like 5 years. Okay, any day in Rikers. So I don't recommend it for nobody, especially nobody that was used to living a grand life. So with that being said, yes, he is gone. He up out of here. They took him to Rikers last night, dressed him out, and did what they did. And he's gonna be there for the next 5 months, and then he'll be on probation for 5 years. So enjoy your stay. And that's it for Believe the Hype this morning. Thank y'all so much for joining me. You know where you can find me. I am Legally Hype. I am on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter. Holler at me. Don't yell at me. Make sure you follow me. Okay, so boom.
We are the Morning Hustle.